The gunshot's sort of a long, sad story of a makeup effect that wasn't meant to happen, despite heroic efforts on the part of Rob Bottin and his guys. Basically, abandoned our original idea of trying to synchronize photosonics cameras because there's too many flaky parts to that chain, and in the long run we had to give it up. But while we were giving that up, Rob was giving the college try to the head. Basic idea was there from the beginning, and it was always to point synchronized high-speed cameras at a dummy and blow it up, and then synchronized high-speed cameras at Ed and not blow him up. In the end, we kind of blew him up, and we got some interesting and often funny results, but we never really got what David was looking for. So in the long run, we pulled out of that one at sort of the last minute. We got a 5-camera rig from Panavision. Now, actually, we made the rig for the Photosonics, but we ended up putting Panavisions on it. And we set it up and we pointed it at Edward. And we put him on the stage, kind of where he would be properly lit. We put dots all over his face to act as markers so that the CG guys could figure out that part of his cheek was that part of his cheek, regardless of where his face was contorted at the moment. Rob took an air nozzle and pointed it at his mouth, and he opened it about enough for the gun to be there, and Rob put 180 pounds PSI down his throat real fast, which I think started out being 110 PSI, but through this sort of one-upmanship with David, it got higher and higher until it was like about to split his cheeks.
All right, ready? 90 pounds.
90.
That. All right.
That's gotta be
150. Oh, 150. 150? You'd be dazzling.
And then he would snap his head back as fast as he could, and sweat would fly off, and it looked really horrible. We then took, and we did try to shoot Rob's head with that rig. In the long run, the only thing I think that actually ended up in the final movie was dropping this bolt into a can of Methicil in front of the 5 cameras, and that splooge flew up in the frame and looked really cool. I think that's what's coming out of his mouth. The rest of it was all treated somewhat the same way as the photogrammetry techniques, because you took those 5 angles and you could make a CG head out of them. If you took any single set of 5 images, there was a CG head. They had to speed him up because he didn't snap his head back fast enough. Probably a good idea he didn't try. Blew his cheeks out even bigger. The smoke is all CG coming out of his nose, and there's a little bit of flame coming out of his nose for just like a frame. We originally decided it was like at 360 frames a second or something like that. You'd never see a bullet at that speed. But then David decided he wanted to see a bullet, and so at the very, very end of the entire process, David had a bullet sort of bounce off his jaw or something. I'm not exactly sure where it's coming from, but it's flying through the frame very quickly. It's a good one for the DVD audience.